the end of things. We are all in things. Isn't that amazing? But we are here, or should I say we is here, in spite of it all. I know that's right. We are here. Night and get started. Oh, unbelievable. Y'all are coming in. I can't see anyone yet, but I believe y'all are coming in because this is what we do. Make sure you say hello to each other. I'm not sure what y'all seeing on the screen. I don't look like I'm in your face so much that you can't even see anything. Welcome to Soul Detox, where we have the prescription for your soul. And we have definitely tapped into something good, because the powers that be got it. Isha. All right, I'm seeing names now. Good evening, Crystal, Adgers, CW, Leona, Shamaniac, my baby. Hello. Uh-oh, let me turn this volume down so there's no echoes. YouTubes, look at Elia. I see her. Sharita, Okita, y'all coming in. Very good. Because we have some pages to turn tonight. How are you doing? How are you doing? Let me ask you, who has the best seat in the house? You know, that's our green light to go. So who has the best seat in the house? Who has the best seat in the house? I'm looking for the best seat in the house. How's everyone doing? Come on in. Come on in. All right. Looks like I need that background again, right? The background light. Get rid of those two things. Give some room here. Hang on one second. See if this helps brighten things up a little bit. Best seat in the house. All right, Crystal. All right, our Cherie. Very good. Brandell didn't get a phone call. Welcome. Beautiful. Best seat in the house. Glad to see this. Glad to see ya. And everyone's up and running really good on YouTube. Very good to see. And everyone is up and running pretty well on I go messing around with things. That's what we do, right? Us techie people. Let's see. Best seat in the house for Biggs. What's up? Lady Latanya, Special. Looks like that's all I can see. Oh, I see Ebony's picture. I don't see any names or anything up here. But y'all are there from what I can tell. Y'all are there. I gotta move things around again. Hang on. I'm trying to perfect this thing, and I'll probably get it perfected by the time So Detox is over. Will it ever be over? Y'all supposed to say, no, 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 no. We're not going nowhere. Let's go get it, get it. All right. Okay, everything's staying pretty much the same. So we'll go ahead and get it started. YouTube loud and clear as well. All three venues working well. Cheryl Johnson, I got to start sending you your paycheck. Well, welcome. So glad to have y'all on tonight. Most of you have gotten an email from me that there was some homework due tonight, and it was my mistake. I did not have a chance to get it to you last night. This was something that needed to be done. It's really absolutely no rush because, again, we're going to be going through all of this every video. We're going to take a video a week, and I'm going to play it, and I'm going to already have a pre-recorded message and let's say a prescription message and a prescription instruction on what you should be working that week. I did get a couple of frantic emails. People were saying they couldn't keep up with the homework and they were getting overwhelmed and they didn't know whether to stop or what should they do. And I just went through the same spiel that I've been giving us all along, that there's no reason to frantic, no reason to get panicky. This is what we're doing. I'm just asking you to do one of each of these assessments, one defining moment, one critical choice, and one pivotal person. That is the most that I'm asking in this part of the training, because we only have 30 days to do a year worth of work, at least 6 months or 3 months worth of work. I'd say fairly 6 months. For someone who's had nothing but time on their hand, 3 months. For someone who's got to manage things out, probably a year. So there's no rush, but if you can at least do one in each assignment, you will have a pretty good idea of what it is that is going to be expected of you throughout the year. So don't panic, don't fret, do not think that you've got to bail out. Stop with the self-abandonment, stop with the self-betrayal. That is not something that we do here anymore. We are here to get our business together and our lives stitched together and our purpose back in the original direction that we were going in before, boom, the accident happened, before the tragedy happened, before we were dropped or abandoned or misunderstood, or before we were adopted or molested or given up or rejected, before the accident happened, before life happened in our lives. We had things going great for us. We had great potential. And then again, I'll just sum it up and say, then life happened. So don't panic. Please just get quitting out of your vocabulary. As of this moment, that word does not exist for you. You are not allowed to quit. You may come in on the skin of your heels. You may come in at the very last second of the last hour. But self-abandonment and self-betrayal is no longer an option. So a reminder again, if you can at least do one of each assessment or soul work that I give you, so that when it comes around February, March, you won't forget how to do it because you will have one example already there. No one probably has all of their assignments done yet. If you do, I definitely want to hear from you. You are definitely somebody I want on my team. So don't panic. So today I sent an email and it was telling everyone that they needed to do this assessment. And it was very simple, but again, how you see things speaks to your self-concept. So you have to always take control. You're still thinking in a powerless state. You're still thinking in a state that you can't control this and I'm overwhelmed and things are getting over on me. They are not getting over on you. You have all the control that is necessary for your life. If you are a born-again believer, you are set, established in Christ, and all things are possible to them that believe. Just chill out. Relax. Remember? Just chill out. We got this. And I told you that I have some assistants here that are answering the calls at nighttime for y'all. If you want to call in with a question, feel free to call in with a question. They're here to help you. But whatever you do, no more self-abandonment and no more self-betrayal, which in a whole circumference, what I'm saying to you is No more self-sabotage. Got it? Comprende? No more self-sabotage. Stop running and hiding and all of that, dropping yourself. You drop yourself, but you haven't dropped 10 other things that probably are a complete waste of your time. So we're not going to panic. Yes, I'm not caught up. Absolutely. Someone on YouTube said, yes, I'm not caught up. Absolutely. We're doing a lot of work, and we only have one night to do it. So that's why I'm just asking for one effort. And then when February comes and we begin this, we're going to do one video a week, which gives us a week to get the homework done. So imagine when you go back over your list and you go back over your authenticity assessment. You go back over your 10 defining moments. You're going to have a week to think of 10. You'll get it done. You're going to have a week to come up with your 7 critical choices or more. A week, you'll get it done. And you will have a week to come up with your 5 pivotal people, or add to your list, or take off from your list. Because I had a phone call today from someone who's been very pivotal in my life. I would consider them pretty important at a very vulnerable time in my life. And I'm like, oh, they need to be on the list, because I did learn some very important things from them. So this is life work. Come on, repeat after me. This is life work. We cannot rush through life work. Life's work demands more from me than self-abandonment, self-betrayal, and self-sabotage. Amen, Minister Jackie says. That is right. Thank you. So what I sent out today was chapter 7, the locus of control. And let me grab a name. And at this point, you know, I probably could just call out everyone's name, because I have a few reading books left. So I don't have any more companions at this point, I don't believe. But I have some reading material left. If you really, really want it, I may just give it out to you. Because, let's see, 2, 4, 6, 8. I only have 8 names to draw. And I probably have 8 reading books to give out. So maybe we'll do that. Y'all can tell me how you feel, but maybe we can do that. Does that sound good to you? That sound good? You probably saw on my page today that I posted that Soul Detox is going to South Carolina. We will be in South Carolina on Friday night, February 8th. We will be in South Carolina for a workshop of Soul Detox Saturday, the 9th of February at 10 a.m. And then Sunday morning, February 10th, I will be speaking again to close out their weekend at 11 a.m. And that will be a prophetic service. So Friday, February 8th, we will have an interlude to the weekend. I plan on going in with healing, fire, miracles, prophecy on Friday the 8th. Saturday the 9th, I'm going to have on my lab coat, and I'm going to be the soul practitioner on February 9th. And then on February 10th, we're going to close out with a high prophetic service. And I expect my prophetic psalmist to be in the realm of the spirit, because I know prophetic songs are going to flow. So catch up with us. We will be in California in March, but we have time to deal with March. We're going to deal with what we have right now. Can I do that? Absolutely. Yes, you can. Amen. That was for Sylvia Rose. Very good. All right. Here we go. No more self-sabotage, says Lady Latanya. Very good. All right. No questions. All hearts and minds clear. I guess I'll draw a name, and then maybe by tonight I'll decide if I'm just going to ask everyone who needs a book to just get in touch with me. But this name that I have drawn tonight is Cynthia Baisden. I don't know if Cynthia, if you won already or not, but if you did, please let me know, because your name was pulled tonight, or either pulled again tonight, and we want to make sure we keep our word and keep you situated with what you need. And for the other 2, 4, 6, 7, I think I'm going to probably end up just calling all your names out and finding out what it is that I can bless you with, because y'all been pretty consistent here and just move in that direction. So Cynthia Baisden, I won. If you won again, you know, maybe you just want to bless someone else with it. There's no need in being greedy, y'all. Invest in yourself. Invest in yourself. All right, let's go, because we're at a heavy part. Let's go. Where are we at? We're past this, chapter 7, which is page, I'm in my ebook, so give me a minute. Chapter 7, page 165. Chapter 7, page 165. And the book goes up to page 304. So we're doing pretty good for having about, what did we say? we have 7 days left, and we've got about 5 chapters to go, and I think we can do it. The best place to find a helping hand is at the end of your arm. Selah, amen. That's a Swedish proverb. All right, stop. For this chapter to be meaningful, you need to do some homework first. I want you to now take the 2 self-tests found in the appendix. You're going to find that this chapter is highly interactive, but you need to have your results from those tests before you go on. Take as much time as you need to answer them. All of the questions in both tests. Remember that honest self-appraisal is the key. We'll be dealing very directly, and what you do in these, hang on guys, I'm going to get it together. And what you do in these chapters, let me catch up where I'm at. And what you do with these self-tests, so don't cheat yourself by not doing them. You see, that is the key. Do not cheat yourself by not doing them. Once you have finished both tests, come back here. So hopefully everyone is back here because you have done them. If not, don't worry, but it would be a bigger blessing if we were able to catch you a little bit earlier on what we're working on here. But you'll see, we'll get it. And again and again and again, I repeat, I repeat, I repeat. We will be going over this again. Do not panic. We're going to do 1 video a week. I'm not going to do a whole hour, but I'm going to tell you what is it to watch the video and what is expected from your homework that I would need you to have completed by the next week. Nice, simple, straightforward, I promise. So here we go. Okay, if you have taken both tests, we are ready to go. In one of my past lives, that would be before I came to my senses and pulled my head out, I helped direct a pain clinic. This is so interesting. In which we treated people with chronic and debilitating physically based pain. We once had 2 patients in the program with strikingly similar profiles. Both men were truck drivers. Both were from the same town. Both were married. They were close in age, and they had the identical diagnosis. Protruding disc in the lower back with severe pain irradiating down the leg. 2 patients that, although very much alike physically, proved to be dramatically different in some very important and out-determinative ways. At first appointment, Steve described for me his bouts with intense pain and his deep reactive depression. He nonetheless wanted to be actively involved in his treatment and asked me to provide him with reading material, books, articles, anything that might explain his pain syndrome and could help him understand why and how he was continuing to suffer with chronic and life-altering problem. He said that traditional medical treatment had proven unsuccessful and that he believed that there just has to be something that he can do to help himself. After some uncommonly in-depth questions and discussion, Steve's appointment came to an end and he headed home, loaded up with the kind of documents he had asked for. 10 days into his therapy, Steve told me he had reached 2 conclusions. First, that his pain emanated from a chronic imbalance in his muscles. And second, that his muscle problem was in turn being kept alive by his emotional stress and imbalance. Are y'all hearing me? He described the long-term stress he had accumulated from feeling overworked and overburdened year after year by his recent frustration with his nagging pain. He also told me that he suspected his many battles with depression were complicated by a family history marked by frequent bouts of depression and anxiety. This is why we're here. Steve then said he had decided he himself could reverse his condition by improving the behavioral and emotional balance in his life and consequently his muscle tension. He believed it was now within his power to break the cycle of pain. True to his prediction, he came back in a few weeks to report that he had reduced his pain to a more moderate level, one that he described as manageable. A year later, in a follow-up visit, Steve looked upbeat and relaxed. He said his pain had improved even further, to the point that he would now describe it as very mild. He said that it no longer disrupted his life to any appreciable degree. Praise God. Here we go. Although Don had the identical back problem, he was in study of contrast. On Don's first visit to the clinic, he let it be known that he wasn't there willingly. Come on, viewers. He said his wife just wouldn't let up until he agreed to come by, so here he was. Do me a favor. That's basically what his mentality is. For the rest of the visit, about all Don would say is, I hurt and I want somebody to take care of this pain. Problem number one. The doctors I've been to are all worthless. Problem number two. I should be getting better treatment than I have. What really got my attention was his parting comment as he headed out the door. If it wasn't for bad luck, I wouldn't have any luck at all. Self-concept. Can y'all say self-concept? Can somebody put up on the screen here? That's a bad self-concept right there. Are y'all there on Periscope, Facebook? Everybody good? He has a bad self-concept already. As he headed out the door, if it wasn't for bad luck, I wouldn't have any luck at all. First, my back gets screwed up. Then I get a bunch of Mickey Mouse from the doctors. He shook his head and said, story of my life. What can I tell you? After his first visit, thank you. After that first visit, several of the clinic staff had predicted the people you need help from. They had already predicted zero improvement as Don's probable outcome from completing the rehabilitation program. And they were right. At no point during the program did Don make any effort to take charge or even understand his condition. Hello, somebody. One day I'm going to tell you how Soul Detox got started. Rather than work the problem, he continued to dwell on it. Here goes those dwellers. He even said he simply could not perform any kind of work, either inside or outside the home. Imagine what his home life was like. They both was married, remember? He did not feel that anything helped his pain. In fact, in his view, the treatments only made it worse. Don concluded that we were all wasting our time. He said it was obvious he had just gotten a bum deal from life, and that was that. Ultimately, what Don got from his treatment was exactly what he was looking for. Nothing. Two different approaches to very different, two different approaches to very different results. The one question that human beings probably ask more than any other is why? Why did this happen? Why did something not happen? Or if it did, why now? Why me instead of someone else? Why did the accident happen to me, not the other car? Why didn't I get that raise, that promotion? Why? From all that you've read so far about internal factors, it should be clear that they deserve a great deal of your attention. A big part of what I'm asking you to do in this book, in this teaching, involves bringing your internal factors into the sunlight, taking stock of your interior reactions to and interpretations of your experiences. Let me read it again. A big part of this work that we're doing and that I'm asking you for involves bringing your internal factors into the sunlight, taking stock, your assessments, your reports, your journal of your internal reactions to and the interpretations of your experiences. As a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. So what you interpret, what you perceive, and how you process those experiences are all called internal factors. And to do that right, you need to understand first the particular mindset that you bring to the whys in your life. Think of it like this. Whenever you reach for a pencil, you're being right-handed or left-handed. Predisposes you to reach for that pencil with one particular hand. That's right. You've done it the same way thousands of times from the time you were a child. In the same way, when you are faced with one of the many whys in your life, You have a characteristic style or attitude of reaching for the same answer. You have a predisposition to answer that why question the same way, time after time. This pattern of response, unique to you, is a characteristic that is called your locus of control. LOCUS, your locus of control. You should have gotten this today in your email from me. Very nice, very large, very clear with all of the assessment. It was very simple. It was, 8? Okay, altogether it was 15 very simple questions. Just simple stuff. You just answer down the line. You strongly agree or disagree. Nothing you really needed to think about. Your locus of control. Locus means location, as in place. Locus of control is concerned with where you tend to assign causation for the events in your life. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Here we go. Here we go. For the causation for the events in your life. It's your accustomed viewpoint about where you perceive control to be. As things happen from moment to moment and day to day, your locus of control identifies and describes who or what you think is responsible. It's how and where you assign blame. Y'all getting delivered tonight. For your difficulties and credit for your accomplishments. In fact, your locus of control tells you not only what you think are the causes of your problem and your victories, it even determines where you tend to look for those causes in the first place. Page 168, your belief about what or who you believe is in control of your life strongly influences the self-talk you have about yourself and the world you live in. I wish I would have posted that up tonight for Facebook. Let me read it again. Your belief about what or who you believe is in control of your life strongly influences the self-talk you have about yourself and the world you live in. 169. Pretend for a moment that you are a business operation called You Incorporated. I like that. I have a girlfriend that I call her name Incorporated. If I were going to consult with the business of You Incorporated, if I had an appointment to create positive change throughout You Incorporated, I would need to know who or what you believe is in control of the operation. Who's the decision maker, the person who most directly involved in the creating of the changes in You Incorporated? Who's going to take the responsibility for making it happen? Where is that person located? If in response to these questions you said, beats me, I know I'm not in charge, then I would be wasting my time talking to you, wouldn't I? I wouldn't bother talking to you if your answer showed me you believed you were like a passenger. How often do you hear me say that? Jesus is not the co-pilot. Jesus is not the pilot. You are driving this ship. He gave you power, authority. He gave you keys. He gave you power to get wealth. He gave you principles and values. He gave you dominion, authority. I mean, greater works will you do. Get out of the passenger seat. Get off the sidelines of your own life. If you were like a passenger over what happened, when it happened, or for how long. If, come on, this is in blue now, I need you to hear me. If, on the other hand, you let me know that you were the person in charge of You Incorporated, the engineer running the train, then you would definitely be the place to concentrate my efforts. You've got to know what you believe about your role in the hierarchy of you. Identifying the standard way you answer life's most basic question is a crucial step towards your authentic self. With that in mind, let this chapter help you identify and understand your particular locus of control. Your particular locus of control. I'm on page 169. Here we go. For the sake of efficiency, let's use the term internalizers for those whose locus of control is internal, and externalizers for those whose locus of control is external. Now let me bring some clarity to it. Locus of control. This is where you believe all the things happen from in your life. This is where your internal factors filter through. This is where your perceptions of your experiences filter through. It's the soul that we're talking about. But the locus of control identifies what, I don't want to say damage, what position your soul actually filters through. So we've got people who internalize all of life's issues. We got people who externalize all of life's issues. Can you think now from the two guys that I mentioned? Who was the internalizer and who was the externalizer? And then by the time we finish this chapter, and I hope we make it to that part tonight, you have those who are neither external or internal, but their whole life is just by chance. Okay, let's go. We're starting with internalizers. This is good stuff, y'all. Internalizers operate from a self-concept that says, anything that bad happens is my fault. Come on, I want y'all to tell me if it's you. I want you to put up on the screen, that sounds like me. And then when I'm done, you can go ahead and base it out like, yep, I'm an internalizer, that's for sure. Oh boy, I'm the externalizer, that's me. I want some feedback from you guys. Come on, don't make me work here by myself tonight. Internalizers. They believe that everything bad that happens is their fault. I make it happen. In other words, whatever is going to be good or bad, it's up to me. To explain the outcomes in their lives, internalizers look to their own actions, inactions, traits, and characteristics. They almost always point to something they did or did not do as the primary factor in the outcome of any event in some way or another. Kind of to a fault, when you internalize things, it's like he said, it puts you at the center of your life. And we know for those that are believers in here, who's supposed to be the center of our life? Who should be our internalizer? Who should be our processor? Somebody said internalizer. Don't feel bad. That's where I am too. And I've known it all my life. For example, no, I wouldn't say it's a form of karma. And as Christians, our word isn't karma. That's a Hindu, Indian word. We use reaping and sowing. But I get what you're saying. Thank you for giving me a teachable moment. For example, when an internalizer does poorly on a college test, she says, I'm just not smart enough to do well. I haven't got the brain power. Or she might say, I bombed that test because I didn't study hard enough. Either way, her explanation would center on elements specific to her, and therefore elements that she controlled. Now suppose she scored well on the test. How would the internalizer now explain her success? Right. I'm smart, or I worked hard and I prepared well. Again, all of the aspects, all of the experiences in the internalizer's life revolves around them being responsible for the good or the bad. Come on, let me see you. Come on, Biggs, what does it sound like? I want to see your answer. Internalizer, come on. I see one internalizer. Let me check out over here, see if YouTube is with me. Yes, didn't study hard enough. Scored higher on both for internalizing. I internalize everything. Yep. And we are going to work that out in you. I just see good stuff on Facebook. I don't see any more comments on it. I hope they're still on there. I'm an internalizer. All right, let's go. Externalizers. You thought you were a problem. Let's read about the externalizer. Whatever bad happens, the externalizer takes no ownership of it. Whatever good happens, the externalizer takes no ownership of it. In her view, someone or something else is behind all the results in her life. It might be the government, maybe it's her mother, but it's certainly not herself. Let me skip because I don't want to read all that, did I? Okay, yeah. I read a study once that assessed various occupations on a scale of highly stressful to not stressful. Of all the jobs that the researchers looked at, by far the most stressful job, come on, where my bus drivers at, was bus driving. The most stressful job was bus driving. Why? because there is nothing as stressful as having responsibility for events, yet not having any appreciable control over them. Hold on, y'all. My screen's popping all over the place. Now, I'm an externalizer. The devil did it. No, I'm an internalizer. It's my fault. I wasn't prepared. Y'all get it? Am I helping you out here? Internalizer? All right, babe. Because there's nothing as stressful as having responsibility for events, yet not having any appreciable control over them. Think about it. Bus drivers are responsible for sticking to a schedule that is beyond their control. They can't control the traffic, they can't control their passengers, and they sure can't control the road construction that they've got to deal with on the way. Externalizers think of themselves as bus drivers on the route called life. They are stressed out, uptight, anxiety-ridden people, and they've convinced that almost nothing along that route is within their control. For example, if an externalizer did poorly on that same college test that the internalizer took, whose fault would it be? The teachers, perhaps. Maybe bad friends who kept him up partying the night before. He might say that the test was just too hard or was unfair. He never thinks for a moment that he failed because he was lazy, ill-prepared, or unfocused. That is an externalizer. Every problem in their life is from some outside source, as opposed from an internalizer that everything flows from this earth from them. Similarly, in the externalizer does well on tests, it's because the test was easy or the teacher was generous with the grades. Are y'all getting me? Come on, y'all ain't even talking back to me tonight, because this hit me today. Because I remember when I would pass a test or do well on a test, and right away, thank you, Hope Lumpkin, right away I would say, oh, that test was easy. I would automatically give credit to an external event. Instead of saying, well, I studied, I better have done good. I better have got a B or an A or A plus or B plus or B minus something. But I wouldn't take the credit for it. It was that the test was easy. That may be me. Christine says she's an internalizer. Yes, come on, this is real stuff. Find out how you process. Because remember last night we gave an example about the person who lost the job, and how they process the losing of that job dictates their self-concept, which is your self-image. You remember that last night? Was y'all awake? Did you pay attention? That's deep. Similarly, if the externalizer does well on the test, it's because the test was easy or the teacher was generous with the grades. The externalizer's habitual response, his perceptual set, means he cannot give himself much credit, if any, for a successful grade. And the story of his life is the story of other people and outside forces. His self-talk will predictably be a very victim. Oh, this screen is popping all over the place. Will be a very victim, come on, oriented one. The externalizer is a very victim-oriented thinker because everything happens outside to them. They have no control. They have no confession, no self-admittance. It's the pastor's fault. It's the wife's fault. It's the job's fault. It's the traffic fault. It's the boss fault. It's the dog fault for the homework that you left out carelessly. It's the grandkids' fault for messing up my clothes that I had out, that you had out unnecessarily. It's everybody's fault for everything that is going on except your own, because you externalize everything, which is very, very bad for your self-control and your self-concept, because this thinking always renders you powerless in every situation in life. You are giving away your power to think everything in life happens to you. Are y'all with me? I don't know why y'all so quiet this year. Am I hitting y'all too hard? Was this too rough for us? Oh my, I did that all my life. That test was easy. And it wasn't the test. Glory to God. Does that make you feel a little better tonight? It wasn't that the test was easy. Someone else on YouTube, she says, I'm an internalizer. You've got to know this about you. So tomorrow when things happen, pay attention. Am I internalizing it? Am I externalizing it? Do I have a healthy balance of it? Or am I, very dysfunctional in what I internalize and what I externalize? All right, come on. I got to keep going because I want us to get through this. This is good stuff. So the self-talk of one who externalizes is always a victim of everything in life. Every marriage failed because of something else. I'm the victim. Things didn't go well. Woe is me. If there wouldn't be nothing for bad luck, there'd be no luck at all for me. This is just the way it goes. That's the externalizer. They are stressed out, uptight, and anxiety-ridden people. And they're convinced that almost nothing along that route is within their control. Are y'all hearing me tonight? Are you around these people? Are you one of these people? You need to know this. Man, I hope y'all getting this. Whatever happens, bad or good, the responsibility is someone else's. Now, there's this third type of personality. You have the internalizer, the one who internalizes everything from the rising of the sun to the setting of the same. And then you have those who are externalizers, who blame everything on the sun and the setting of the same. Thank you, Nilda. Thank you, Denise. Thank you, Crystal. Thank you, Karen. Thank you, Leah. Then we have this third group, and they're called the chance. The chance. Listen, for all their differences, internalizers and externalizers have this in common. Both of them identify someone or something that they perceive to be responsible for the outcomes in their lives. Whether it's always me or it's never me, both of them have a deep-seated belief that there is a reason and a direct cause for everything that happens. But there is a third category of people who we haven't talked about yet. Call them chance people. In these people's perceptual set, every result or outcome is due to fate, accident, or just plain luck. For them, the expression, stuff happens, isn't an amusing bumper sticker. It's their creed. It's their philosophy of life. Chance people do not believe that they nor anyone else have any input or control over the results of their lives. They've got no idea why things happen the way they do. Accidents happen randomly. We are blessed randomly. A good example of a chance person is a slot machine gambler in Las Vegas. Other than inserting a coin and pulling the lever, this person has absolutely no control over the outcome, which is entirely dependent upon the machine. Come on, Denise, I'm seeing you. Highlight. People who measure high in the chance factor may believe in God. Come on. We're going to find out, what is this problem with you receiving him? What is the problem with your relationship? Why 5 steps forward, 15 steps back? Why hasn't your relationship grown over the years with God? Why hasn't your faith been amplified in God? Why this disconnect? Why up one day and down the next? People who measure high in the chance factor may believe in God, but not as one who makes things happen on a day-to-day basis. They certainly don't believe that they are part of a larger, purposeful plan. Things just happen and there is nothing we can do about it. Do you know how many times today I heard people say, it is what it is. It is what it is. And I kept saying, Popeyes, Popeyes. I got Popeyes all around me. Where's olive oil? I got Popeyes all around me. I can't even stand to hear that anymore. And when it comes out my mouth, I'm like, let me correct that, because I'm working on some life changes in my life, and that is not something in my vocabulary that I want to own anymore. People who measure high in the chance factor may believe in God, but not as one who makes things happen on a day-to-day basis. They certainly don't believe that they are part, how about this, of his larger purposeful plan. Things just happen and there is nothing we can do about them. Total giving up all of their power. Consider, for example, their attitude towards death. Listen. In their view, death is a random, holy, unknowable event that will not change schedule. Regardless of how much you take care of yourself, how smart your doctors may be, where you live, or any of the hundreds of other things that could possibly affect your health. When your number's up, your card gets punched. There's no point in trying to influence or even change when and how you die because it just happens. Come on. Do I have any chance thinkers up here tonight? Somebody's yelling, oh my God. Somebody's yelling, shift. Somebody said, I don't like that term. Another one. Now that's interesting. The chance people. And if you're ministers, how are you ministering to people with these mindsets? Because we've got to show them through the word of God that he's not a God of chance. He knows the plans that he has for your life, says the Lord. For I knew you before you were formed in your mother's womb. I finally knit you together. There's purpose and plan for your life. But people with chance cannot connect that. So if you're ministering to them, coaching them, mentoring them, you've got to take them to the word and pray with them and have them pray and repeat the word over their life. He's not a God of chance. He is not the God that you go to and based on how many A's you got in life today and how many times you did not sin today that he's going to bless you or acknowledge you. That's why people have a problem receiving the Holy Ghost. We have a problem receiving that the Holy Spirit is a gift to humanity. It is a gift to those who ask for it. It is a gift to those who believe. But people who can't have it, don't receive it, or not sure if they do because they don't believe they're worthy because things happen by chance. Come on, y'all know I'm preaching to y'all tonight. And y'all quiet like this. You ought to be ashamed of yourself. Come on, come on, come on. They may believe in God, but not on one who makes things happen on a day-to-day basis. Look at their attitude towards death. There's no point in trying to influence or even change when and how you die because their mindset is it just happens. Let's look more closely for a moment at the issue of physical health, since it opens up for us a useful way of understanding more about the relevance of locus of control. Simply put, the question is this: do you attribute the condition of your health to hard work, exercise, eating right, good doctors, or luck? In case you're still trying to figure out an internal from an external to a chance, let me break this sentence down for you. Do you attribute the condition of your health to hard work? That's the internalizer. Exercise, eating right, that's the internalizer. Good doctors, that's the externalizer. Or luck, that's the chance person. When internalizers get sick, come on all my internalizers. When internalizers get sick, they are likely to believe that they had some part in the onset of the illness. That's why one time I got on here and I was telling y'all that when I worked for a physician and they used to get on me for not wearing a hat on my head or wearing a long coat or whatever, he would say to me, it doesn't matter externally what you have on. If your internal immune system is not healthy, you're going to get the flu. It's not based on a coat and a scarf. Can anybody hear me tonight? It's based on the health of your immune system. So if you take care of your internal factor, the external cannot come at you. I hope y'all getting me tonight because, man, oh, man, if this was church, I'd close up my book and preach to myself in the back room. Come on, I just need an amen every once in a while, or it's me, or wow, this is teaching me something. All right, Facebook, y'all with me? Yep, what did I do wrong? This is good stuff. Ooh, I think I need a breather. When internalizers get sick, they are likely to believe that they had some part in the onset of their illness. I haven't taken my vitamin. What happened with Job's friends? Job, you must have sinned. What did you do? And what was Job telling them? He was standing his ground. Though he slay me, I trust him. Job was like, look, God is doing something here with me. It's nothing that I've done. It's an external factor, but I'm not a victim of it. I'm a righteous man, and my God's going to see me through. But when internalizers get sick, they blame it on the vitamin C, the ginkgo biloba, the person who came to work with the flu, the person who sneezed in line at the bank. They're always looking for something that happened because of them. They shouldn't have been around the sneezing and the coughing, and they. They take responsibility for getting sick, and they will also take responsibility for getting well. For example, some patients with heart problems will declare that they got sick because they got too fat or did not exercise enough. They might feel that they had put themselves under too much stress or were smoking too much. By the same token, they would view their rehabilitation as part of their responsibilities as well. They would take on the majority of accountability for healing themselves, including changing their lifestyles and faithfully taking their medications. Those are internalizers. Are y'all out there? This is helping Apostle. All right, talk to me. Come on, talk to me. Now, let's deal with the externalizers. On the other hand, might lie there in the hospital bed, blaming their heart trouble on a number of factors other than their 2-pack-a-day habit or the 2 jumbo cheeseburgers they'd enjoyed every night for the past 10 years. They might blame their parents, I have terrible genes, or they might blame God. Ooh. You might hear an externalizer explain how he was hexed by the enemy, doomed by the environment, or targeted for an attack by the government agency. And as you might expect, they cannot be held responsible for their recovery. Rehabilitation, after all, is a job that belongs to doctors, nurses, and physical therapists, not to them. These are the ones that's not doing their homework. Not the ones that's telling me that they're fearful and they're afraid and should they quit because they're not keeping up. That's not them. These are the ones that's not doing it at all because they think it's my responsibility or Jesus who's driving their ship or is the co-pilot of their car. They think it's God's job or my job or somebody else's job to fix them. But as long as they're on here at night, everything should work out for them. They don't have to do anything because it's everybody else's responsibility that I remain well. Not surprisingly, the people who fall under the chance category are the most difficult to help. They take no personal responsibility for their recovery. They have no faith in any treatment, and they see no reason for setting goals or even trying to get better. Lacking a reason for effort, they have little or no motivation. The onset of disease in an accidental occurrence, a card played from the game of chance, a tarot card was switched over. Nothing and no one is responsible other than the accidental combination of events. It was just the luck of the draw. You were in the wrong place at the wrong time. People who make statements like these that I have mentioned are people of chance. People who are always blaming physicians and doctors and therapists and pastors and ministers. Those are externalizers. People who are always saying, it's my fault. I did something wrong. This happened because of me. I'm going to get out of this because I'm messing up people. Those are internalizers. Can y'all just tell me where you're at? Because I'm just not getting enough feedback to go on tonight. Maybe I need to stop. Maybe, the stones are being thrown and y'all get hit and y'all laid out somewhere. Mic broke. All right, Karen, I can accept that. Periscope, what's happening? Come on, Periscope. Where y'all at tonight? I'm not getting 18 comments. That's for sure. Where are y'all at tonight? No hearts going. No comments being... Y'all must got a private party somewhere and didn't invite me to it. Come on. Glory 888. Vanessa _May. Angela Elaine. Latanya. Come on. I see y'all faces on the bottom of my screen. Let me hear. Sounds like I am an internalizer. Definitely not a chance person. Internalizers, the unhealthy ones, the ones that are imbalanced, we'll say, will beat up on themselves because everything begins and ends with them. All right, Nolan, you give me some feedback. Where are we supposed to be? You're supposed to be in your book on page 172 and answering the question, are you an internalizer, an externalizer, or a person of chance? Have you ever heard these comments before? Have you ever spoken these comments before? And if so, what are you getting out of it? That's where you're supposed to be. Work with me. Come on. Internalize. A lot of internalizers. I wonder if there's a difference between, a heavy difference between man and woman. All right, let's go. I'm thanking God that I'm enjoying what I'm doing because I am all day long excited. 2 people called me today and I just interrupted them from talking and I've been telling them all it is. I am a mix and a mix is healthy. My kids said I am uptight because I always blame them. When things go wrong, I reflect on what did I contribute. Very good. Very transparent. So the people of chance fall under the most difficult people to help because they take no responsibility for their recovery. They have no faith in any treatment and they see no reason for setting goals or trying to get better. Lacking a reason for effort, they have little or no motivation. The onset of disease and its accidental occurrence, a card play from the game of chance, nothing and no one is responsible other than the accidental combination of events. It was just luck of the draw. You were in the wrong place at the wrong time. Locus of control can and does create results in your life. Locus of control does, you hear me, create and can control results in your life. Because Don had a mindset that his problems came from bad luck, a raw deal, he ignored powerful resources at his disposal. In other words, even when opportunities to get better were within reach, he did not see them. His radar wasn't scanning for those resources or opportunities because he considered them irrelevant. He believed he was cursed by a bad back and that there was really nothing he or anyone else could do about it. His self-concept dominated by a mindset of chance regarding the key events in his life. In this case, his health doomed him to a painful life that I have no doubt he is still living to this day. As important as your health is, make no mistake, the issue at hand is about far more than your health. Understanding and addressing your own locus of control has implications for your physical well-being. Certainly, but it touches on every other area of your life. It directly influences the content and quality of every moment that you live. Where you place the causes for the events in your life affects all the big things. Your career, your effectiveness as a parent, your marriage, and yes, your health. Oh, I got to underline this one. If you are consistently and repeatedly attributing events in those areas to the wrong causes, then there can be no doubt that you are living a fictional self. And you are probably misassigning even the smallest things. My younger son Jordan bounced into the house the other day looking as if he had conquered the world. I knew he had been preparing for a major test, so I assumed that he'd done well. I asked him, hey, how did your test go? Did you slam it or get slammed? He answered, I did the slamming today. I kicked butt, Dad. It was so easy. I sniffed out a definite teaching moment. Time to help Jordan groom the old self-concept. Side note, God has a special place in his heart for kids or preachers' kids or spiritual sons and daughters who grow up with a psychologist or a soul detox practitioner for a parent. I said, you mean you studied hard enough that you knew the answers. The test seemed easy because you had the information right. Instead of giving the test the credit for doing well, you can give the credit to the effort you made in studying, right? I mean, really, you even skipped The Simpsons for this one. After looking at me as if I sprouted an extra eyeball, and after probably initially thinking, geez, Dad, give it a rest, he eventually nodded, looked insightful, and said, yeah, I guess so. You're right. I did bust it pretty hard for 2 nights in a row. He had decided the test was easy, but aren't they always easy when you're prepared? Easy or hard, it's the same test. The one who makes the call is you. If you are a chance person, you might say, I lucked out on this one, or I was unlucky. The externalizer would attribute his or her performance to how hard or easy the test was. The internalizer would attribute the outcome to how well he or she studied, to know the information, or more generally, how smart they are overall. In which perceptual category do you place yourself? Where do you assign responsibility for your performance in life? Are you making your life choices based on your responsibility or someone else's responsibility? Are you waiting around, hoping that whoever you've assigned to manage your life will be smart enough to do it well? Time for a reality check. Since I tend to speak a great deal about your being responsible for the way your life works, you would probably assume that I would vote for the internalizer as the person most likely to succeed on the road to authenticity. It is true, as I've said many times, that you create your own experience. I strongly believe that most things in your life are internally controlled, but I also trust that in reading this chapter, you've spotted the defects in every locus of control. Neither the externalizer, the chance, nor the internalizer can claim to have the perfect viewpoint. There are flaws inherent in all three. For example, a woman is not to blame when her husband abandons her and their 3 children to run off with some cute bimbo at the office, and does so without any warning whatsoever. His spineless, immature, and cruel conduct is not a matter of her control of responsibility. If she's sitting around a year later, still numb with grief, saying it's my fault, then something is wrong with her perceptions. She is inappropriately internalizing. She's taking ownership of behaviors that isn't hers. Are y'all with me? Yes, I believe anyone's authentic self is one in which you would naturally want to take control of your life and your reaction to the events that happen to you. But be realistic about what you can control and what you can't. Did y'all get it? All right, I'm going to have to stop there because time is up. I was hoping to get a little further tonight. But we're going to stop there, and we'll pick up tomorrow on page 174. So what I would do tonight is I will send not the test scores. I will send the assessment results depending on what number you got. I know, woo-wee. Depending on what number you got, what range you fell in, I'm going to send that sheet out to you in the next 15 minutes, and you can see what area you fell in. If you don't have the book, you're going to need this from me. If you have the book, then you should already have it. The one thing I want to point out is you cannot total up all of them and make one grand total. Each section has its own total. You have section 1, which is 1 through 5. You have to add it up. And on the assessment, you're going to see section 1. And then you have section 2, and you have to add that up. And then you're going to find on the paper that I'm sending out the results for section 2. And then on the last sheet, the second page, you see section 3. That's all on appendix A. You have to total up section 1, 2, and 3 separately. There is no grand total of all 3 of them together. Again, total up section 1, 2, and 3 separately. And the same thing with appendix B. Total up section 1, 2, and 3 separately. Because what I'm going to send you out tonight is going to have the results 5 through 12 for section 1, all the way to 33 to 40. And then it's going to have the results for section 2. Then it's going to have the results for section 3. And it's going to let you know if you are an internalizer, externalizer, or chance, and how seriously you play with your health. Because health belongs to God. Amen. You all are very welcome. This teaching is much needed. Good stuff. Thank you, Chris Blake. Good to see you on. Karen Jameson said she got it. And Periscope, they're yelling out, I'm an internalizer. Very good. All right, gang, that's all I can give you for tonight. We went over an hour. I've been trying to stay under, but I really needed to finish this tonight. But we will tomorrow. I think I said, yeah, we're going to start on, so get your reading book. Nope, we're not even there yet. Yeah, we finished 175 tonight. So tomorrow we're going to pick up on page 176. And I hope we can finish it all the way to, yeah, we can finish this tomorrow night. We'll be on chapter 8. We'll be beginning chapter 8 tomorrow. So from 176 to 183, we're going to finish chapter 7 tomorrow. So we're doing well for time. I'm pleased. I'm very happy with it. If you have any questions, you can give us a call, 860-222-9884. Please email me at info@SuzanneMHoward.com or visit the website at www.SuzanneMHoward.com. You will, if you subscribe to the site, which everyone should be a subscriber, you will get an email in a few minutes with the assessment results. Otherwise, you can go on the page, if not tonight, probably by tomorrow, and it will be posted on the blog as well. God bless you. You are very welcome, Eagle Vision. God bless you all. And come on, let's go. 1, 2, 3. I wish above all things that you prosper and be in good health, even as your soul prospers. God bless you all, and good night.